Thank you so much. Thank you. So I want to welcome to the stage a few of our special guests: Brandon Polansky, Samantha Elisofon, Will Deaver, Jonathan Tchaikovsky.
I love you too.
Well, so what an amazing, amazing job you all did.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, this story is so universal about people trying to connect. And that last scene just really chokes me up. So I'm going to try to carry on. My first question is, Rachel, I know this film was based on a short film you made. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the genesis and how you all met.
Yeah, well, I've known Brandon, who plays David, for it's now 16 years.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, 16 years. And I guess the inspiration from the story came from some of Brandon's dating experiences. Yeah. He had met a very serious relationship at this very community where we shot, and I was at the time an MFA student at Columbia, studying directing. And I started the idea as the idea for a feature, but at that time, since I had the opportunity to make a short as my thesis, I started it as a short, and then it grew from there. And I had met the rest of the cast. Most of the cast are from that community.
Okay, and the cast in the short film are also the same cast in the feature?
Yes, that's right. So, and then I actually, I guess though it started as kind of inspired by Brandon's relationship, once I cast Samantha, whom I met in the community, it really took on a new life. And instead of it being biographical, it became about how would these two people fall in love. And then I met Will, and we had a great collaboration of as well. Yeah.
So I have a question for the actors. When you see yourself on the screen, are you seeing yourself or are you seeing your characters? And maybe Samantha, you could answer that first.
Well, I would have to be very honest. When I'm seeing my character, my character is actually very different. It has a lot of similarities and difference. To be very honest and keep the whole world posted. A lot of people who came here tonight. For example, Sarah's like very, very different. She's very, very allergic to gluten after seeing that movie. But Samantha Elisofon is not in real life. I would never say anything. And Sarah was just set a really bad example, and the way she said threw a lot of too much information that was just very inappropriate. She mentioned a lot of sexual humor, like about sexual intercourse. I live in a condom. Samantha doesn't do that in real life ever. That would be too TMI and inappropriate and embarrassing. That's a huge difference that I would see myself. So I would never do that. I always set a really good example, and I stick up to the plate, and she is not aware of it. So.
Thank you. I guess you could say I caught my big break finally, But then when you think about it, everybody deserves a big break in life. Because if it wasn't if there was no such thing as big breaks or miracles, if everybody just got exactly what they got, the world would be a pretty damn miserable place. So therefore, everybody deserves their break in life except for O.J. Simpson. I mean, I remember it was Yom Kippur of 1996, and O.J. just got away with murdering Ron and Nicole, and Ron's father, 12 hours later, had to go to temple for Yom Kippur to pray for forgiveness. Life's just crazy. It doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the Florida judicial system with Casey Anthony. I think they're the same jurors.
Thank you. Well, I'm Will. I don't have as large a part in the film as the other two, but I'm the only one who managed to get here to San Francisco without my parents coming along and shepherding me. So who's the real winner here? I tend to see myself on the screen, but then my character was probably closer to the real me than anyone else in the film. You'll notice that I didn't change my name. I'm the only person who didn't use a fake name for the film, and I actually intended for my character to pretty much explicitly be me. He was going to have the same website where I review music, knightsofbroadway.com, Knights of Broadway, Knights with a K. Check it out. And that line unfortunately got cut, but you probably saw my site address in the credits. Hey, we all got to do something with our lives.
Can you guys also talk about how it was working on the set, what your experience was?
Oh, can you mind rephrasing like the
Well,
experience?
yeah, did you enjoy the process of making this film? How did you work with Rachel directing you?
Okay. I'd have to say the process was extraordinary, wonderful. Just beyond thrilling and just exhilarating. It was just extraordinary, wonderful getting this honor and joy of working with this just incredible cast and writer and director Rachel on set and getting to do well after starting the short feature. It started off. It was very easy peasy working Rachel because it was like we were developing over time and we were just developing the script. But but as we were expanding my character, I didn't really have a last name. My character, when I was playing Sarah Silverstein in the feature, it was definitely exhilarating and beyond. It was thrilling and extraordinary. I loved having the exposure. It was wonderful. But it was definitely not an easy peasy task because I didn't have to. She didn't want anyone to rely on the scripts or rote memorization. Just focused on improvising and mixing and matching, go with the flow, or whatever. And we were told it was much more of a challenge to open up. So.
That I can totally agree with. At first, I thought that improvisation was so much easier than remembering lines. But then again, it gets like exactly what Samantha said. It's like a surprise, like not like a happy birthday surprise, but more like getting hit by a bus surprise. Like you don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Like you know that feeling when you get in trouble in elementary school in the principal's office, you don't know what the hell's gonna happen? That's the kind of feeling.
Okay, Brandon, stop before you hurt yourself.
Thank you, Will.
Well, I do want to speak for Nikki Gottlieb, my best friend and right-hand man and brother in all but blood, who couldn't be here today, and observe that his part of the script was actually entirely improvised. She didn't script him at all, which probably you could have guessed, given that no one but Nikki on the planet would come up with the whole Mr. Rogers porn thing, but I just thought I'd confirm it.
Nikki, who plays Sammy.
Yes, Nikki Gottlieb, who plays the part of Sammy. I had almost forgotten that he also used a pseudonym for the film. I didn't, so it's sometimes hard for me to remember who did and who didn't.
Matt, Jonathan?
How's the bat going?
Hi. I saw the short a few years ago through a friend, mutual one with Rachel, and then a few years later, the casting director called up, asked if I'd like to be a part of it. And the short, I mean, it wrecked me for days. I was curled up in a ball crying and then laughing and then giggling and then tearing. I didn't even know what to do with myself afterwards. And then they asked me to be a part of the feature, and got to set and was just blown away. It was amazing watching everyone work and how they all played off of one another, and it was really just an incredible experience across the board, and I'm grateful for the fact that it exists and we got to be a part of it.
Wow, I can't believe you were crying. I was crying too, that part in the end when he's running through the doorway, and it was like more tearful than when I saw A Dog's Purpose. Have you seen that movie, A Dog's Purpose? I was crying so bad, and that was a movie I saw on an airplane. I never thought I'd get so emotional of a movie I saw on an airplane.
Okay, Brandon, that's enough here, Rachel.
So, Rachel, what would you say in terms of improvisation and what's written? Is most of it improvisation, or was there a kind of skeleton script that people were following?
There was definitely a script, and most of the actors read it. But I had a kind of different relationship. The actors had a different relationship to the script, just according to what was best for their performance. In terms of the dialogue, everything was encouraged to be put in one's own words, with the exception of, as Will pointed out, Nikki Gottlieb didn't read the script because he just got actually kind of so taken with this idea of this play that he was going to direct within the film. He wrote a 100-page play, and I was like, all right, man, just go, do that. So it was, I spent 2 years developing the script with the cast, and then we kind of, for their purpose, they set it aside and put things in their own words. But when we would go into a scene to improvise, they knew the beats that we were hitting and what they had to accomplish.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about the difference between working with non-professional and professional actors, because you have both in the film.
Yeah. For me, the difference working with the non-professional versus professional, I think that, like Brandon and I, when we were making the short film, we did a year of acting exercises together. Yes. But I think by the time we got to the feature, he was, had really built up a lot of skill, and by the time Samantha got to the feature, she had blossomed incredibly as an actress. That going through that process with them, I got to be a lot more involved in their acting process than one often is as a director. I think often you work with the actors with a little bit more distance and give them that private space to figure things out. And with the non-professional cast, we worked very intimately together, and that's their success is a credit to how open they were to allow me that access.
I know that Samantha said that.
You know what? I'm a lot better of an actor than OJ. But now I feel like Taylor Swift. I know how Taylor Swift feels. Okay, Kanye.
I'm just trying to keep you from embarrassing everyone and turning this audience into a crowd with torches and pitchforks.
Okay, so it looks
so
like.
I actually have an answer to that question,
Yeah,
if
please.
you don't mind. I worry about the implications of possibly professional and non-professional, in this case meaning neurotypical and us, if you know what I mean. I've recently become aware that they're doing this new TV series called The Good Doctor, I think it's called, about a doctor with autism. By the way, the people leaving in the middle of the Q&A, we can see you. Well, I became aware of this show, and I was rather troubled by the fact that it seems to star Freddie Highmore. A fine actor, no doubt, but a neurotypical, if you catch my drift. And it struck me that if he were, say, a white man playing a black character or an Asian character, that would be blackface or yellowface or whatever, and totally unacceptable. But because he's a neurotypical actor playing one of us, that's perfectly okay, and no one's really raising a stink about it, which is a big part of the reason why I've always thought political correctness types are just hypocrites who only care about the minorities that are fashionable at the moment. Just thought I'd share that with all of you. I generally share too much.
Thank you for sharing that. Seriously. The frank discussion of sex, was that, I know you said that's not really your character. Was that in the script, Rachel? Or did that evolve from the improv?
Oh yeah, that was definitely that was definitely in the script. The sex scene we rehearsed that beforehand, fully clothed and just kind of walked through it in a blocking sense so that the actors felt ready for it and knew who would initiate what. And yeah, that was definitely in the script and an important part of the script. To me, that's just realistic. These are adults. They have sex. They're interested in sex. It was a very important part of the film.
No, I thought it was wonderful. I'm gonna just, we're gonna open it up to the audience in a minute, but I wanted to ask you all, what's your plans now after this film?
There you go. Well, I'm sorry.
The question, like project, what we're doing.
What are your plans after
I don't want to repeat it.
Okay, I'll go first. First of all, my biggest fear in life is to go backwards. I don't want to ever go backwards in lifestyle and wind up like, the cast of different strokes, Gary Coleman or Screech or Justin Begon or Lindsay or Shia LaBeouf from Savannah, Georgia. I just want to be a big star. I want to be the most well-liked person. We all want to never have... Samantha, what do you plan to do with your life?
Can you rephrase the question? I'm really confused.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Yeah, I was just curious if you had any plans after this film, acting or
You want to be an actress.
whatever your, future has.
Can you? I don't know what to say. Can you?
Do you have plans to act moving forward?
Oh yeah, moving forward. I guess basically to add on what Brandon said, we really have the same hopes, we have the same dreams and the same fears. My greatest hope and my greatest dream and pursuit moving forward is I just want to pursue a professional performer. I'm going to be my next project is meeting my casting agent this summer in LA. My mom, and sitting here, she's amazing. I want to thank my amazing mom. Without the amazing, endless love, support, and this overwhelming but extraordinary, wonderful crowd, none of this support, love, perseverance would not have been possible today. Because of all that, I just want to continue to persevere, just put myself out there in a mix and match of acting, singing, just pursue and go on auditions, like not just with my epic players, but like more advanced, like being more on television, commercials, and send me my casting to send me out more as my greatest hope. Be Marley Matlin is my fantasy, or be on television, mix and match more, broaden my horizon, TVs, television series, anything's possible. Who knows what the future will hold.
Well, I'd be glad to work with Rachel again on any project she was interested in working with me on, especially since most of my part in this film wound up on the cutting room floor. But I'm really a writer by trade. I'm going to be writing a book on musical theater. My official plan is to finish it by Labor Day, although I'm now not sure if I'm actually going to make that deadline, but it will be finished by a fairly forthcoming date. I am definitely going to finish it by a year after I started it, next April, and I hope to publish it in whatever form is possible. I mean, obviously, I'd like to publish it in actual print, but you know how hard that can be these days. But whatever I end up doing, I intend to pursue primarily my career as a writer. I will repeat the name of my website, knightsofbroadway.com, that's Knights with a K, where I review music and musical theater and things of that sort. And it's kind of on semi-hiatus right now because of the book, but when the book is finished, it will be back in high gear. So, well, I think I've plugged everything I need to plug, so I'll hand the mic back to Rachel.
So in spite of everything, you should check out this guy's website. It's a great website, knightsofbroadway.com, right? Yeah, you should check out this guy's website. It's really cool. You can see all my stuff on YouTube. The short Keep the Change version of where it all began, and Keep the Change Film School Shorts, Brandon Polansky, YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. That was very kind of you.
So let's.
And I'm sorry I took the mic away from you earlier. I'm sorry I took the mic away from you earlier.
Should we open it up? Yeah, let's open up to the audience for a couple of questions. We have two folks with mics.
Hi, thank you. I love the film. I'm wondering, though, how you chose the characters of David's parents, their wealth, and the mother's rather unhelpful character. I'd like to know about that.
It's kind of based on my actual story where, like, the mother didn't approve of the son's girlfriend. Oh, it's kind of based. That's a very good question, by the way. It's kind of based on actual when I first met this girl at the JCC, and she had issues, you know. And like my mom says, was she brain damaged? She chewed your head off and all that. But no, I mean, that was an exaggeration of Hollywood. Jessica Walters from Play Misty for Me. Yeah, she was that woman, that same exact woman from Play Misty for Me. But, yeah, so she goes, so the mother's is like a little, so it's kind of very much based on my actual story. If you saw the 15-minute short, where I've known Rachel for 16 years now, and there was this time when I was very lonely and at a low point in my life, and Rachel was busy in college and all that. And then Rachel told me about this program at the Jewish Community Center for people like with, I guess, a little off, I guess you could call it autism. So then I met this girl, and then we've been going out on and off for like 7 years now. So we made a film about it, Keep the Change 15-minute short. But then here's the hard part. We broke up, and it was a horrible breakup. And then we were in the process of making this full-length feature, so it was really, really hard making a film about a love story that no longer existed. It was like painful. And I felt, I don't know, but you know, I feel now I could get on with my life now that I'm in the spotlight again, you know? You go well.
Speaking of ex-girlfriends, my ex-girlfriend, and still I'm glad to say friend, Marisa Leloge, was in this film, and originally her band, the Merry Rockers, had a musical number in it that did not make it into the final cut. So I just thought I'd do a nice thing for my friend and tell you that the Merry Rockers are an amazing band, and if you ever get the chance to see them or, God willing, promote them in any way, you should.
I agree about the band. Just to answer my perspective on the parents, so in terms of the wealth, it was very interesting to me, the idea of this character who in some ways is a high social status because of his wealth, and yet has struggled his whole life to achieve a place socially in the world. And that was an interesting tension for me. Then in terms of the parents, it's funny, I actually see them from an angle and find them, I empathize with them. So even though the mother is very much an obstructionist to this relationship, I think she's coming at it from a place of love and knows that her son already has enough struggles in the world and just sees this relationship with another person with a disability as further complicating his life and hindering him.
Another question?
This isn't a question, but it's a comment, and I wanted to congratulate Rachel. James Gandolfini was discovered in a play I wrote. I have a project idea for Rachel. I think Samantha should play a character obsessed with Laura Nero.
Okay, any other questions?
That was an incredible film. I laughed and cried. My question is about the future of the film. I think it would be great for more audiences to see it. What is the plan?
I know some things I can't say. Here, Rachel.
This film is supposed to not just be a great, amazing film, it's also supposed to change the way we look at people on the autism spectrum and stop painting these awful pictures of us as if we're a bunch of ugly people that should only interact with other ugly people and live in a home and eventually get a job at McDonald's and all that. No, we're more than that. We could be talented actors. We could even be CEOs of banks or even get into Harvard or Columbia. I like Columbia better because I'm a Yankee fan. And how about those Giants? They're from New York, the baseball team.
We will have
Look at the Dodgers.
We will have good news to announce soon about the film making its way out into the world. So please remember it, and when you hear about it coming to theaters, tell your friends to go see it.
Also, that reminds me, this film is a part of our new audience award ballot. So at the back of your ticket, make sure you vote for it because it's eligible for the award. Do we have time for probably one more question?
Yeah.
It's on the left.
Hi, my name is Stephen, and I really honor, as one who's worked in special education for his life, I really honor that this film has been made. It really attributes so much to people who need that honor. And I want to, how has it been received or has it yet been received in the greater autism community? And what has been the response in that regard?
As far as I can tell, and I think I know as much about that community as anyone, I don't think there's been a super clear notice yet.
We haven't.
I don't think they've really noticed it yet, but give it time.
When we had our world premiere at Tribeca, and so a large number of the community members got to come to see the film. So that's, in terms of its response by its specific community, it's been very positive, but we haven't yet screened at a wider autism-specific film festival, for instance.
Okay, I think we're done for tonight. Let's give a round of applause to this amazing, amazing cast.
Thank you, Jay Rosenblatt. He's the one that discovered me at Tribeca.